Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday Talk Radio at 1 o'clock and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock Saturday, and for the best in Wednesday Talk Radio on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We're now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also on the internet on knookmedium.com, serving Richmond, Oakland, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Your host is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer this week is The Rock. Rocky's subbing for Greg Hill today. Clay, I wanted to thank our friends and listeners. My mom was suddenly ill last Friday, and we had to cancel the taping of the show, which we'll do another time. Peter Kreeft with his book, Between Heaven and Hell, which is a great, great book. But we did a best of instead, the Marilyn Monroe show we did, the 50th anniversary, which was pretty good.
There's so many best of. I mean, we've had so many great guests over the years.
Yes, we have.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And if people want to look at our old shows, look at Clay and Marty's show, and you can see all of our shows for the last almost 4 years on YouTube. Hey, I want to talk just for a second about next week's show. We've got Barry Goldwater Jr., and Wayne Root. And Wayne's going to be talking about healthcare, one of our favorite subjects. But today we've got a special show. In the second half, we have Dr. Minsink from the practice. He's going to talk about his way to beat Obamacare. And I know that's a subject that's very, very strong on Clay's heart, one of his favorite subjects, if not his favorite subject. But in the first half, we have the Western Regional Director for Virtual Enterprises, a young lady we've had on the show before, Nancy Phillips. Nancy, welcome back to Taking Care of Business.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
It's that time of year again.
It is. It is. Usually the week after Thanksgiving is when we have our big event here, and we take over the whole Marriott Complex Hotel and the Rabobank Convention Center with about 1,500 to 2,000 kids arriving on Monday night and Tuesday morning.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been a part of it now for, I think, five or 6 years?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's a great, great week, and I highly recommend this to business owners because it'll give you a better feel for the generation behind us, or in Clay's case, the 2 generations behind him.
So. Yeah, a couple of generations ahead.
Yeah.
You know what? I was there a couple of years ago, and I was so impressed with the kids. When you think that the educational system is going downhill, you need to come to this program and see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's do this. Let's start off with the basics. Tell our listeners about Virtual Enterprise and how big it is and what part we have in it.
Well, Virtual Enterprise is a business program. It is a class, and it is a simulated business entrepreneurship program, which means the students come to class and they create their own virtual business. And by virtual, I mean to them it's real, but to all of us, it is a class. And it does promote understanding about how to start a business, how to run a business, how to work in a business. They're responsible for creating a product line or a service line, or perhaps both. They're also responsible for creating their own websites where other students can order virtual products or virtual services from that website. The students all have a personal financial literacy component, and many have economics credit tied into this class. Some of the programs are usually just 1 period a day. Some are 2 periods a day. Others are on a block schedule. It varies throughout the state of California. But overall, this program is an international program. Students can buy and sell their products to students from other countries like Austria, Germany, or England, or Indonesia, along with students within our own country. So it's a huge program in our country now. Give or take, there's close to 10,000 plus students involved. Most of them are at high school level. Some are community college level, and they're trying to branch out into the community college or tech schools that are post-secondary schools. California is now not the network of California, but we're considered the Western region, and the headquarters are here in Bakersfield through Kern High School District, and I am the director that runs the program for numerous states. Right now it's California, Hawaii, and Oregon, and we hope to add these programs in other states surrounding us soon.
Well, one thing we hope, New Mexico, we have a station in New Mexico that airs our program, and hopefully New Mexico would be perfect for this. I think that might be something that you could, expand in the future.
Well, that would be wonderful because most of the programs now are honestly east of the Mississippi. We are branching into the Midwest a little bit. There's some programs in Illinois, around Chicago. There's programs in Michigan, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia, and then New York is where the national headquarters are, New York City, and there's programs there in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So most of it is actually, to the east of us, but unfortunately, these programs started a couple of years before we started out here in California, and it's just getting the word out because this is one way with all the new core curriculum standards and the CTE standards coming out that this enables students to learn about a career and actually see if they want to go into this career. Many of them are now going to college and majoring in business programs.
Our guest by phone is Nancy Phillips from Virtual Enterprise.
Nancy, how many schools participate in Kern County?
In Kern County, there are 6.
And are there schools from other counties that come to Kern to participate?
Well, we have a lot of programs throughout the state, and we are divided into regions. And so those regions will hold their own individual coordinators meetings, and coordinators are really the teachers. And they will hold their individual student training or leadership training for students periodically through the months of September and October. But we do have schools that come up here for our training from the Santa Clarita area. And then our event itself will have close to 100 different companies attending next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. And they're from all over the California area, up through Northern California and down as far as San Diego and Inland Empire, Palm Springs area, and Santa Barbara area.
Now, when you say companies, you mean a school?
No. Some schools have more than one company, meaning that some teachers will teach several programs of virtual enterprise on their site. And so each program or each class is a different company.
But they're all student companies is what I mean.
Yes, they're all student companies.
And they all come here, present their program, get evaluated, and then the winners do what?
Well, a variety of things. One is in the trade show event competitions, this is their chance to get accustomed to what virtual enterprise is all about. It gives them a chance to stand up in front of judges and do presentations like oral market plans or HR scenarios or sales presentations. There's an interview competition. There's also a perfect pitch competition where the student gets into a quote-unquote virtual elevator with 3 judges and in 60 seconds has to tell them all about their company, paint a billboard basically in words. And so those are some of the oral competitions. But these prepare them to go to other trade show events that are coming up in the springtime in different communities throughout California or throughout the United States. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Nancy, this is such an impressive thing. Let me just do a little synopsis of how I'm involved in it because I want to set this up for our discussion after the break, okay?
Okay.
So, for example, like when I'm there next week, we'll have 5 or 6 schools sitting in front of a panel, and we are pretending we are bankers, Wall Street bankers, and they're going to make a presentation to us as if with their product and everything. They've already done a paper on this, and somebody's already graded the paper, and then we decide whether or not we would give them the money. We rate the 5 or 6 schools, 5 or 6 companies, and I guess it's the top 3 that go on to the next level. Is that a pretty good synopsis?
That's correct, basically okay. Correct. Yes, they had to submit a business plan online, and so we have judges judging those plans now online, and then they come next week on Tuesday, and they are put into panels, and we try to have about 3 judges listening to these students present, and they have to present their business plan presentation orally along with a PowerPoint presentation in about a 12-minute period of time, and then the judges have about 8 minutes to ask them questions, and then every company that participates has to go through 2 rounds. Then we cut cut out about half of those. They go to a third round in the afternoon of the third, and then we cut that about half, and then on the morning of the fourth, the top 7 or 8 teams will go to the finals, and of those teams, 3 will actually then go to New York City on April 1st and 2nd and 3rd and participate in the National Business Plan competition for virtual enterprise.
Perfect. Let's pick up from there when we come back from the break and talk about some of the particulars.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.